Hey guys, it's me Toby, and today we're looking at Season 1, Episode 11 of Scooby Doo Where Are You? Recap Edition. The episode starts out with the werewolf looking out from the castle as the Scooby Gang are driving towards the castle. Then the Scooby Gang see a fortune teller booth in the back of a truck, and the fortune teller warns them not to go to the castle. They consider not going, but ultimately decide to go, as lightning strikes with no clouds in the sky. They enter the castle, and they are warned by a vampire to not enter, and then the vampire turns into a bat. The castle drawbridge closes, with Daphne on the inside getting chased by Frankenstein. I'd like to point out that's already 3 monsters in this episode. Anyways, Fred grabs a rope to get on the inside of the castle. Lassos it, Scooby and Shaggy swing into the castle and figure out how to relower the drawbridge. Just then the werewolf shows up and scares Shaggy off with Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo hides in a suit of armor, as you can see right here, and trips the werewolf. Then they run and hide. Scooby hides in the piano and Shaggy hides behind some curtains. Chaos ensues and Scooby Doo's hiding place gets compromised, so he pretends to be a monster. Shaggy temporarily traps the monster and falls onto a soft cushion thanks to Scooby-Doo. As you can see right here, the monster is trapped. Meanwhile, Fred and Velma are investigating, and they come across an old dining area where the vampire once again warns them that they will never leave. Fred and Velma split up, and Velma crawls and hits her head on the table and loses her glasses. She falls through a trap door. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo come out of a hiding place that leads to the kitchen. They see what food there is, and there's pickled vampire wings and werewolf snacks, which they find gross. Then Scooby-Doo checks the cupboard's lock, sees that it's locked, and Shaggy just says, "Open it." Like, what could possibly be in the pantry? And it turns out to be Frankenstein's monster. They pour some flour on him, and they zipline away. Well, Shaggy does. Then Scooby-Doo tries to open the door, but it's locked. And then Shaggy grabs Scooby-Doo, the zipline, and then get locked out behind them. Meanwhile, Velma comes out from the other side of the secret passageway into a dungeon, as you can see right here. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo fall into the dungeon as well, as you can see. And Scooby declares that, well, he smells Scooby snacks. Scooby-Doo is happy, Shaggy thinks that's ridiculous, and they find Velma without her glasses. So Shaggy gives her spare glasses since he's a good friend. Then, as you can see, they hear a wailing noise, and it turns out it's somehow Daphne in the dungeon. So they get a rope to free her. Then the vampire sneaks up behind them, and Scooby-Doo traps the vampire in the rope. And they escape, as you can see right here, through a secret passageway. They go through a dark tunnel, and it leads to another lit room where Fred is. Daphne declares that she found another clue. Here's the clue. And they also discover Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are now missing again. Shaggy tries to spray the monster with the hose, but it reflects back at him. And then he tries to make a potion to turn the werewolf into a scaredy cat. And it just causes a smoke bomb and he goes away. They see Frankenstein's monster and they skedaddle, getting away from the monster eventually. As you can see right here, Scooby-Doo closes the door with his tail. Then the monster runs into the door. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo use the blanket on the gurney to use it as a parachute to slow down before they fall down a big flight of stairs. They walk down the flight of stairs to discover a tomb where the vampire is laying. The vampire disappears again, and in his place is an earring that the gypsy was wearing earlier, Fred declares. So they go back to the gypsy, and they ask the gypsy if she was at the castle, and Scooby Doo shows that he has the tarp full of diamonds that I forgot to mention from earlier, which is why the monsters were there to scare them off to find the treasure. Scooby Doo stops the gypsy cold in her tracks, and it turns out to be a wanted criminal in 7 states. The sheriff pulls up because he heard a call from earlier from the people who invited them to the castle in the first place, and Scooby-Doo does his signature Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And yeah, that's the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Also, sorry for the background noise.